This is how to open and clean your Xbox 360 Slim, whether it be a 4 gig or a 250 gig. The boxes are identical in every way with the exception of the 250 gig have a very shiny and the surface that looks like shit after a while. Excuse the language. And the 4 gig actually has a matte black finish. I think I've discussed that before. The 4 gig simply has a little chip inside and does not have a drive in this slot. Okay, you can put one in it, but it doesn't come with one. That's why it's a 4 gig. The 250 gig does not have the little 4 gig chip, but it does come with the drive in the slot. That's why it's a 250 gig. And then the 250 gig has a shiny silver top and bottom rail. Alright, but this is how to open and clean, so let's do that. Alright, this being the front of your box is simple enough. Take a flat blade screwdriver, slide it in just underneath the vent, put your thumb here and lift up. Alright, the rest of that will pop right off. Okay, set that down. Now I know a lot of these videos show yanking off this plastic piece here. Absolutely not necessary. You don't need to do it. Take your fingernail and go underneath this lip of that right there, and then there's 6 release tabs on it. You're going to have one right here, you're going to have one right here, one right here, one right here, excuse me, right there, right in the middle here, and then at the end here. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the screwdriver, we're going to stick it in there and just push forward on that tab just a little bit. Oops. Alright, and release the tab. Do the same with the center one and with the one at the end. Now you see how that's all loose? Now we're going to do the same exact thing on the opposite side. Now, see how simple that was? You didn't break anything. You didn't have to pull out the center piece. Put this back on immediately. Alright? Just like that. No big deal. It'll just clip right back on when you're done. Okay? I'm going to set that off to the side. And I think the lighting in here is a little bit out of rough. Now, you're going to have this part. This is your wireless card. It's held in with one screw and a USB port. You can use a T10 Torx driver. I use the gun because it's a little bit faster. You're going to remove one screw and then simply unplug the USB port. See? It's just a USB port with a single screw. This is for your wireless internet. I'm glad they did it that way because them things do have a tendency of going bad from time to time. So that's a good thing. Now we're going to remove the door. You can do this with your finger or you can use the screwdriver. Remove that door, and we're going to do the same exact thing with the grate at the bottom or the air vent. It'll come right up. I'm going to set that aside. Now on this one you got all the same tabs here, here, in the middle, and then there's a larger one here and a another one right in here. Okay, now this one on this side just above the tray is a little on the tricky side, so I usually switch to a much smaller screwdriver. But again, we're going to take our fingernail, stick it underneath the lip of the silver or black if you have a 4 gig, and we're going to release that tab. Okay, then we'll release the center tab on this side. Now this one usually pops up on its own, but if it don't, all you have to do is just put it in and tilt forward, it'll release. Now we're also going to release the tabs on this side. One, and in the middle. Now see, this is why I like to switch to a smaller jeweler's at this point, because it tends to be able to get into that easier. And then this one here, You just kind of push this little thin part of the top away, slide down in there at about a 45-degree angle, get it behind the tab and tilt forward just a little bit. Okay, you see how that did that? See? This is the screwdriver and this is the tab. See? All you're doing is pushing forward on the tab to release it. Okay? We didn't have to pull the plastic part out and break that all up. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this back on. The larger vent is going to go on the side without the big hole. We'll put that back in right now. There's no need to keep it out. It'll just clip right into place. And then we're going to go ahead and put on the door for the drive. Just clips right into place. Everything's perfect. Okay. No need to pull the drive out at this point. Now, if you look on the back side of this box, you'll see this square sticker here. Alright? Behind that, there's a little tiny hole that goes all the way through the plastic. Now this one, the guy already opened using one of the YouTube videos, and he used the screw or the pin right through the center of that tab. But all he had to do was take his finger, run a little bit of pressure on the top of this sticker, and he would have seen a little indentation, and then he could have took his screwdriver and popped that hole. Now let's see if we can get you to see that hole there. We're going to focus this in here. Let's bring it over here. Alright. Alright. See the UL listing here? The hole is usually always right here. See that? It's just sticking up. It's just a little bit to the left of that UL listing. Okay? So no need to try and cram through this and booger up your case, make it look ugly. Just take your finger, put a little bit of pressure, rub it back and forth. You'll see the indentation. Take a jeweler screwdriver and make a little hole. You can use a scratch awl for that if you like. Alright, once you make that hole there, all we need to do from that point on is release the tabs. Alright, now let's take a look. There's a tab right here. Not this little silver thing, but right below it, there's a tab right there. See that? Well, all we're going to do is just pry it forward a little bit, and we'll apply a little bit of separating pressure to the case. Alright, now let's get back over here. Alright, so we're going to put our fingers on the metal part of the case, take our thumb and push away on the top side of the case, and we're going to take the screwdriver that we just slid right behind that tab, and we're going to just release that first tab. You'll see a little gap here. And then we're going to take our other screwdriver and we're going to poke it in that little teeny hole that we found and then push in. That just released the second tab. Okay? You see that? That released the second tab. Alright. Then we'll turn the box over, and both tabs are visible on this one. Right here. Lighting's kind of terrible. Hold on. Right. See the tabs right here and right here. Okay. Both of them tabs are highly visible. What we're going to do is we're going to just kind of hold it onto the metal case, put a little bit of separating pressure, not a whole lot, and then just take the flat side of the screwdriver and very gently release both of them tabs. Okay. Now that we got both of them tabs released, let's tilt this down more. Alright. We're going to set this down. Both the tabs are released. All we have to do is just take our fingers and lift up and then slide away from the face of the box. That comes up. Alright. We're going to put all of our extra pieces on top of this and set that aside. Okay, let me move this over here because this box is not in for a cleaning, it's in for something else. Alright, now you're going to remove 5 screws. One here, the black one. One here, the black one. One here, it's a black one. One here, it's a black one. They are all T10. You got one more over here that is a T10. Do not remove the X-clamp screws, and don't let any idiot talk you into an X-clamp replacement for preventative. You will kill your box over time. You're going to remove the 5 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, I'm going to put them with the bottom side and the rest of your vents. Flip the box over, very gently lift up and pull the faceplate just about a half an inch away from the box. Lift up and the faceplate of the box will come, or excuse me, the top of the box with the heat shielding will come the rest of the way up. Now, you notice this is the faceplate. Now, at this point, you don't want to get this too far away from the box because it's connected. So all you're going to do is just kind of lay that down, and you'll remove your drive by reaching under with one finger, your index finger, underneath the cabling. Pinch down with your thumb and rock gently back and forth until you unplug your power cable. Okay, and then do the same with the SATA cable. Alright, once that's done, set your drive off to the side. You do not want to blow air inside of this drive. Alright, they're very good and airtight for as far as that's concerned. Now, this air shield here will slide right up, alright, and come right off. Keep note as to the direction that it was put in, so just set it off to the side. From this point, take a soft bristled brush, clean out your fan, clean off any dust on all 4 sides of your heat shielding. Take the soft bristle brush, very lightly break loose any dust that's in here. If you have a lot of dust buildup in your AV components or anything like that, go ahead and do that. You can unplug your drive by pulling that out. Break any dust free in there. When you're done, take a can of air, blow out any dust. You can hold it up, blow it out with your mouth. You can use an air compressor. Air compressor works best. If you use an air compressor here, put your finger in the fan. Don't allow the fan to spin with the air pressure, because you spin this by itself and it will produce electricity, which can cause damage to certain components on the motherboard. So you don't want this spinning without the power being on. Alright? And then once you get it all cleaned out, slide your board back in and reassemble. Now I'm going to show you how to do that in just a moment. Okay, now that we're done with our drive work, this little rubber band has a hole on the top that goes to the top side of your drive. You always want to put this back on, otherwise your drive will be very loose and slide back and forth in your box. Although if you lose this thing and you put your box back together and you find out it's overheating, look in your fan. Okay, But I don't like this rubber band setup. After a while, this rubber is going to get old and break. So if that happens, I'll show you a neat little trick that you can put a business card right here, just fold it up a couple of times, and after you put the drive in, slide it down right in this back corner, and it will prevent your drive from sliding back and forth. Okay, I'm going to plug back up the drive. Make certain your drive is all the way in, or your power cables are all the way in, and then I'm going to very gently set that drive back in place and push it all the way to the forward. Make sure it's seated perfectly in there and is not interfering with anything in here. You're going to double check your power cable and your SATA. Now that we got that back on, we need to put the box back together. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this toward me. Leave some room with your faceplate. Take the tray, or the front top part. We're going to set that in. Make sure it's seated all the way down. And then we're going to take our faceplate and we're going to line up them tabs, and we're just going to slide it right into place. Once that's done, we will flip it over and we'll insert our 5 T10 Torx screws, the long black ones. They should slide right in with no forcing whatsoever into place. If you have to force them in or they're tight, something's wrong, open it back up. Now, you're just going to screw these down snug. See, something's wrong with that one. Let me check these. They're just going to be snug. You don't want these things super tight or anything like that. Just snug. And we're going to screw in that last screw. Like I said, just finger tight, nothing more. Okay, once we got that on, we're going to take the bottom half and put it on. Oops. Careful not to drop and lose your screws. If you do lose the small screw for the wireless, you can use any of the case screws from an older fat box. They'll fit. Line up the top of this with the tabs and the sides of the faceplate, and it will slide back on. Your tabs will just click shut and it'll be all closed up. Now all we need to do from this point is put the top and bottom back on. Alright, I already have the bottom face up, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the bottom one with the door directly over the drive and just set it right on there. Line it up, push down, squeeze a little bit on the sides until it's nice and flush all the way around. That's on. Flip the box over, and then we're going to install the wireless internet. This will only go in one direction, and then we're going to put in that T10 screw to hold that in place. Again, only finger tight, no tighter than finger tight. It'll look just like that. Alright, and then we're going to take this one and we're going to install it. Now you'll notice there's 2 tabs here on the end, and then right here at where the RF board is, you'll see 2 little tiny outcroppings there. That lets you know that this side goes here. You can also tell by RF board and little tiny round hole. Excuse me, where'd it go? Okay. Okay. See the little tiny round hole here? It's going to be opposite side of the RF board. Okay, set it down, push down, squeeze, feel it. If it don't feel like it's all the way in, push down. Okay, it's all on, everything's perfect, your box is back together. There won't be any damage here for your sticker, but obviously once you remove that sticker, this box is no longer under warranty. So unless you trust somebody to do red light repairs on these boxes, think twice before opening your box for cleaning. You can take your box, lay it down this way, take a vacuum cleaner hose, put it on the same side as the fan. Oops, let me get that up there. Put it on the same side as the fan, put the vacuum cleaner hose right up next to it, and blow air straight, top, bottom, left, and right. Blast that air through there at a good 40 pounds with the vacuum cleaner hose against the vent and on. 40 pounds, top, center, left, and right. That'll get rid of the dust, and the vacuum cleaner will pull all the free dust out of the box and prevent it from landing on other sections of the board. You probably get away with doing that for a good 10 or 12 months. Recommend every 2 months. Every 30 days is preferable for doing it this way. For total clean out, maybe 3-4 times a year. It really depends. As far as I'm concerned, you should open it up every time for a total clean out every time, and just an occasional in between, blow the dust out. Alright, so that is a total clean out of the box. Excuse me. Now, who among you can tell me what I did wrong on reassembling the box? Some of you got it, some of you didn't. If you was paying attention, you would have noticed that on reassembly of that box, I did not put the fan shroud back in the box. Ha ha! Don't forget the fan shroud. It is important. Every single aspect of that box is there for a reason. You cannot forget to put things back in the box. Avoid losing screws. If you lose a screw, find a replacement. Use it. Stay safe, happy gaming.